This is Gospel Music Today. We're at the National Quartet Convention, and we are talking to members of Men of Music. And sitting next to me is Greg Colburn of the group. And Greg, welcome to Gospel Music Today.
Ken, thank you so much for having us this afternoon. It's an honor to be with you.
I'm going to ask you to introduce the other members of the group.
Well, this gentleman standing right here behind me is Rodney Tyson. Rodney is our lead vocalist, and this young man right here is Chris Walton, and he sings our tenor.
Now, the group has quite an interesting history. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
The group started actually in 1995, late 95. A gentleman by the name of Cleon Yates from Austin, Texas, actually founded the group and started the group. And when Cleon decided to retire, Mike Bullock, who was then singing bass with Cleon, bought the group out and sang and traveled with the group for many years. And I actually sang with Mike for about the last year that he was on the road. And Mike's wife was actually diagnosed about 3 years ago with multiple myeloma bone cancer. And through some experimental treatments and things of that nature, we just found out about 2 weeks ago that she just had her checkup. She has to go every 4 months, and God is still God. She's in total remission. And Mike, because he's spending a lot of time at home with his wife and his children and grandchildren now, he decided that he was not going to use the group or put the group back on the road. And Chris and I actually sang together for the last year in another group, and through some transitions there, we decided to go back and talk to Mike, and he was gracious in selling us the name The Men of Music. So here we are, back in full force. So we're excited about what God's doing. He's opening doors already, this being one of them. So, and we appreciate you for that, Ken.
Well, that's great. Chris, let me ask you, we keep hearing that Southern gospel music, and this may be fair or not, appeals to an older crowd. Now, we want to know what brought you into this.
I grew up in a family that sang Southern gospel. My parents have their whole life. So it was just second nature just to step right in and start singing myself. Sang with them for about 7 years, and then I stepped out and God moved me in another direction.
Who were the groups who were your favorites when you were starting out?
Growing up, Gold City, the Cathedrals, of course, Brian Free, me being a tenor singer. I mean, Brian Free, that's my hero right there. So that's who I grew up listening to.
Rodney, how did you become involved in gospel singing?
Well, it's kind of the same story that Chris had. My uncle sang with the Heisman Quartet, and so at 7 years old, put me on stage, and from that moment on, I was hooked. Wasn't very good, but I was hooked.
He is now, though. Just for the record, he's an awesome lead singer.
Okay, we'll make a note of that. Now, in addition to the group, you're involved with Jubilee Music. Tell me a little bit about that.
I've been with Jubilee for about 5 months now, and do some booking for Jubilee music artists out of Franklin, North Carolina.
Now, what does the booking agent do?
Well, the booking agent calls promoters, calls churches, just tries to get groups in, and it's not an easy job, but a lot of people think it's really easy, but it's not. But I enjoy it.
Has the group been recording?
Actually, Chris and I have already recorded vocals on a brand new project, and we were waiting for God to send Mr. Perfect to us, and he sent Mr. Perfect in the form of Rodney. So in the next 3 weeks or so, and don't get the big head back there because I said you're Mr. Perfect, but in the next 3 weeks or so, Rodney will actually be in studio laying the lead vocals on a project, and so we're hoping in the next 60 to 90 days that we'll have that new project out, and just another door that God's opening, so we're excited about that.
Is there a Men of Music website?
There actually is, themenofmusic.com.
And people can check in there and keep up with the progress of the recording.
Absolutely. People can check in there. They can see what's going on with the group. They can look at YouTube videos. They can see a full schedule there. And just a lot of things going on, and we have fans that are already sending in pictures from, because actually with Rodney, we've been on the road now for 2 weeks, and we're already getting pictures in, people that we're posting on our website so that, fan pics can be posted and other people can see those.
Now, where's the home base?
Home base is in Jackson, Mississippi, and I guess it's there because that's where I live. By birth, I'm an Alabama boy, so and I might go ahead and say Roll Tide on that one, Ken, if that's okay.
Now, are you guys going to be traveling full-time?
Yes, we are full-time ministry, and the emphasis there is ministry. because we feel very firmly that God has ordained us and called us to do what we're doing. Actually, and I didn't say this earlier, but this year, and hopefully the audience out there that's watching this will say, wow, he doesn't look that old. But this year I will start my 35th year in Southern Gospel music. And it's been a dream of mine for all of my life to do what I do, and through these guys I'm able to live my dream. So it's an awesome, incredible thing to have.
That's great. That's great just to hear that. Well, Greg and all the men of music, thank you very much for talking to us on Gospel Music Today.
Ken, thank you so much, and we appreciate what you do in promoting and supporting Southern Gospel music.
There's more coming up on Gospel Music Today.